off the crossbar. Goal! And it's a giant deflect off the goal team. Switch to left field and down for a base hit.
Hunterdon Central is going to win the state finals here tonight.
Mark it on the board. Touchdown, Red Devils. On the deflection. On the deflection. Hunterdon Central.
And joining us here on the Red Devils pregame show, Red Devils senior Jared Kuhn. Jared, we're coming off just an electric game last week. Describe what went through your mind catching that touchdown late in regulation.
You know, it's fourth quarter mindset. It's like a thing known by like all athletes, and once like fourth quarter, no matter how bad you're doing, like the first, second, before halftime, it's the fourth quarter, everything clicks. It's all or nothing, and you had to tie the game. You had to like get clutch up for the team and make a big play and make everything fall in place.
But Jared, that's one of those things when you're a little guy out there throwing the ball around the yard, you're dreaming of those kind of plays, making the play in a big spot. What's it like to actually have it happen under the lights with all the fans there?
You know, it's nervous. It's nerve-wracking. The coach calls up the play, do this. He's like, this is going to be the play to either make the game or sell the game. It's a lot on the line. But, like, once it happens, the thrill, like, the feeling of, like, you knowing that you did that for making your team go forward, it's like the best feeling in the world.
Now, Jared, tonight we've got Elizabeth, a team that has gotten off to a rough start. You guys have gotten off to a great start, but you know what it's like. There's some games we've dropped through the years. What should we expect from this Elizabeth team tonight?
Beat them last year, but that's nothing really to say this year. New team, new offense, new defense. But the way we've been practicing lately, I'm pretty proud of my team, the people I could call my boys, my family. I think we have the strength and the ability to overcome and win a dub.
We're only 2 games into this thing, Jared, so we don't want to overreact. That happens a lot in sports, overreact with each week. But what has the difference been in this year's Red Devils team so far?
Me personally, I think it's the chemistry that we have. This is the same team that's been playing with each other since Pee Wee football. We all grew it up together. You gotta love it.
That was Red Devils senior Jared Kuhn. Stay tuned next for the kickoff. Red Devils and the Elizabeth Minutemen here on the HCTV live stream.
Welcome to HCTV. I'm Tyler Rodriguez, joined with Joe Whalen, the Hunterdon Central Red Devils taking on the Elizabeth Minutemen today. Joe, Central 2-0 for the first time since 2013. It's a great chance for them to extend that to 3-0 against the Minutemen team, who is 0-2, coming off 2 losses, most recently to Scotch Plains. Should be a great opportunity for the Red Devils to extend this winning streak to start the season.
Yep, Hunterdon Central looking to extend their winning streak for right now to start the season 3-0, which they haven't done in so long. And especially for this offense, I'm looking for them to really come out swinging, because last week they came out, had an awesome first drive of the game, but then they kind of slowed down until the end of the game when they really picked back up. So I'm looking for the offense to really pick back up and so they can keep this winning streak going.
And last year in this game, R.J. Hart had an amazing game, 92 yards rushing, led the team 3 touchdowns, including 2 passes, 1 long one to Joey Valentino and 1 even longer to Trevor Fish. He had an amazing game against Elizabeth, his best of the year, and that put Central to 2-1 last year, first time since 2013 in the Cabinda years. So Central really sending it back the way they've been playing. It should be a great one tonight.
Yep, definitely looking to keep this hot hand rolling, and especially with the inclement weather tonight, I think we're going to see a lot of running the ball tonight. I don't know how much they're going to be able to throw the ball around the yard with the rain posing a factor tonight for both teams.
Yep, crazy weather with the heat wave, the wind, the rain, so see how that happens for the Red Devils and the Minutemen. Game delayed by about 40-45 minutes. Teams both waiting for this to get started. Joe, have you ever had to go through something like that in your playing days?
No, I mean we've had rain before, but we really never had any thunder and lightning delays. Though one time when I was a junior, or maybe a senior when we were playing Montgomery. The lights actually went out in Stewart Field, and so we had about a 30-minute delay sitting with no lights in the field, and the fire trucks had to turn their lights on so we could see on the field.
And you ended up playing with the trucks?
No, we waited till the lights came back on, and then we finished the game out, and we luckily got the W that day. But
Wow.
that's the only real big delay I could remember playing when I was playing here at Central.
Yep, I remember last year playing soccer away against Gill. We had a weather delay similar to this, about 30-40 minutes, and very, very kind of annoying in the sense that some people are like, oh, don't want to play, just cancel the game or do it another day. And those exact people now got to switch back on, get back out on the field, and others are just so eager to go, and that kind of buzz and emotion dies down to when they get on the field. Now it's a bit lethargic. So it's going to be difficult, you think, Joe, for both teams to get going. Central 2-0. This is a big Central Conference, a BCC matchup. Central 2-0 in the conference. Elizabeth, they are 0-2 in the Big Central Conference. So both teams looking to extend Central extending the winning streak, and Elizabeth looking for their first win. And like you said, Joe, last week, conference games, you want to do good in the conference, is a huge one, and this delay just makes it a bit more spicy here in Elizabeth. This opening kickoff from David Lazo, the kicker for the Minutemen, and it's fielded on that right side. Can't quite see the number. Usually it's Gray and Kuhn or Artiega there, the three that return. It was Artiega that time. Had a quiet game, Artiega, yesterday, or not yesterday, last week I should say, but against North he went off for the 3 touchdowns. South had the 4 touchdowns in North, just the one last week, 148 yards for 19 attempts, and you think with him and Artiega, with the weather the way it is, the running game's going to be crucial for both teams, and the Red Devils on their first possession.
Yep, 100%. I think we're going to be seeing a lot of running the ball. I think this game, the clock is going to keep moving. I don't know how much we're going to see Hart throw the ball today, just specifically because of this weather.
Hart led the team in rushing last year, led them in rushing against Elizabeth with 92 yards. This time he pitches to South and is stopped immediately there. Amato trying to lay down the block. Amato, interestingly enough, we saw he got that big hit last week. We thought maybe he was shaken up. I recently learned he's having issues with his feet, blistering. He's been struggling, practicing a bit gingerly all week, but still out here today. Red Devils suffering a couple injuries. Brito is back, Moten out, as well as Edwin Sanchez. So the line very thin. Of course, Goodman's still not there, so they're going to have to dig deep here. Difficult time for their line. Very tiring it can be, as you know, Joe. Here's Hart again. Play action will throw, and that is incomplete. James Mongo, the target, or the attempted target for the Red Devils. That is the sophomore Mongo, or the junior, I should say.
Yeah, I mean, you just see on that one, Hart struggling to get a little bit of a grip on the ball, sailing that one over Mongo's head. I mean, I like the play call, trying to catch him sleeping a little bit when you're showing you're definitely going to be running the ball, and I think that's big part of the game plan. But having Hart trying to build his confidence up early in this game, getting the ball out, trying to get a few completions is key for Hunterdon Central if they want even the threat of throwing the ball tonight.
They've had a reaction. Mongo, this sophomore, it's 3rd and 14 after that 4-yard loss from South. Here's Hart again, steps up to throw, has Kuhn. Can he run for it? Will be close. Looks like he got the ball to the 40. See if they measure with the chains. Good little pass there to gain the confidence from Hart.
Yeah, just a nice little delayed route from Jared Kuhn there, and Hart delivers a strike to him over the shoulder, able to get upfield and get that first down. Just a great effort from Jared Kuhn on that play.
Yeah, we heard from Kuhn before this game. He had a bit of a quiet start to the Piscataway game, and good to see him getting going early, but he did come up big late for them with that game-tying touchdown, I believe, and then Argueta Morales hit the extra point to send it to overtime. So he's a big moment player, but good to see him started early as he's out on this far right side. Amato in motion as Hart takes it, runs it to South again, and looks like he'll pick up those 4 yards he lost on that first possession.
Yeah, just a nice job by South keeping his feet moving. Looked like he had first contact in the back of the line of scrimmage, but able to keep those feet moving, able to fight off some arm tackles and keep his legs churning to try and get some yards out. So good so far from the offensive line. I think they just need to try and eliminate that penetration, those shooting linebackers, because Elizabeth does like to blitz their linebackers, and especially in a game like this where running the ball is going to be so important.
There's Kuhn alone on this far side again as Hart moves back from under center. Amato in motion. It's Souse again. And he's struggling to run the ball here early on. They've been expecting that. Obviously, Joe, when you see the first two games, how good he's been, they're going to try to stop him, and clearly they've done their work on that for Elizabeth.
Yeah, I think Elizabeth is keying in that Souse is one of the most explosive weapons on this Hunterdon Central offense, and I think they're going to try and do everything they can to limit his explosive plays, because we saw in his first carry of the game last week, broke it for a 40-yard run, fighting off tacklers and just able to run down the sideline.
And he's got that ability to do that. Jake Souse, this time it's hard to throw. Looks for Amato, hit his hand, but couldn't quite bring it in with the one-handed grab. And that will bring on the punting unit with Decker McNally. We didn't see him too much last game early on, but he's out here today to pin the Minutemen deep, hopefully, for the Red Devils.
Yeah, I like that play call from Connell Joyce, the offensive coordinator for this Hunterdon Central offense, getting Hart on the move. That's when he's most dangerous, if he has the threat of running the ball or throwing the ball, because he can get it done with his feet. Unable to connect with Amato on that one with the out route.
Yeah, he can't get, and that's something that hasn't been pointed out a lot because of the ability from South and Ortega to run the ball, but Hart can do it for sure. That time pass didn't quite work out as McNally prepares to punt this one long. Snap is a bit low. Gets a nice high kick on that. And a fair catch at around the 25-yard line for the Minutemen.
Yeah, so I'm interested to see how this Elizabeth offense comes out, if they're going to try and do what Central did, maybe catch the defense sleeping, throw the ball around a little bit, but I think they're going to be coming out trying to run the ball. Elizabeth is always a very big, physical, hard-coached team. This is their strong suit, is running the ball. In games like this where you want to just dig them out, try and run the ball down their throats and just beat them mano-a-mano, I think this is something that does play into Elizabeth's strengths, but Hunterdon Central did a great job last week stopping the run.
Yep, and this is a roster you get a lot when we announce games. We print them out. We don't see a lot of 9s for the great year, and there was one for this man, Arik Fleming, the freshman leading the offense for Elizabeth. He airs one out early, and it is incomplete on that far side from Fleming. So only really, I think, 2 freshmen on this lineup. Najee Smith, one of them, and Arik Fleming, the other, the leader of this offense. And he's clearly not shy after that first possession, Joe.
No, that was actually a beautiful throw, able to get a grip on it and just rip it down the sideline. I like the play call, trying to take a shot on 1st and 10, trying to catch this defense sleeping, but great coverage from Hunterdon Central's DBs on that Artiega.
So they'll set up again, still around that 25-yard line as they run it this time up the middle, and that's a great run there. I believe that's Lyles on the carry. Jamal Lyles leads the team in rushing yards, 76 of them this year. Their main threat in terms of rushing. Fleming has 26 rushing yards, and Candy, their other big threat, 70 rushing yards. Not as big as a presence of South with a 363 yards, but shows that Fleming really a player that can throw it mainly. It seems to be a passing offense as what we've seen early on as an aggressive play, but they run it again up the middle. Amato is there.
Yeah, just trying to pound the rock, trying to get the same result with the exact same play call they just ran, but Hunterdon Central able to sniff that one out and not give up the big gain of 10 yards, but still a positive gain for Elizabeth. Hunterdon Central looking to bear down here defensively.
And it will be 3rd down, or 2nd and 3, sorry. And they run it again up this far side. There's a lot of space there, and this could be going to the end zone, and it will for the Minuteman. So first blood drawn by Elizabeth here with an explosive run down this left-hand side. Didn't quite see the number. I believe it was Lars. Could have been Ahmad Canty Jr., but regardless, a beautiful play there from the Minutemen.
Yeah, just a really nice, simple inside zone from the shotgun, able to get that cut back. That was what they were looking for, and he just busts it down the sideline, able to outrun everybody, and this is something that Elizabeth always brings to the table. They always have the athletes to be explosive and have these huge explosive plays just like that last one we just saw.
And when you look at this, at the stats, the stat sheet says that Elizabeth mainly have the receiving yards, the passing yards, and not a huge running presence, but that time was a beautiful run as Lazo prepares to kick it through and will do just that. So the Red Devils, a game they're expected to win, which is not something they used to having here, and seems like they're a bit rattled down 7-0 early as we can see the sun peeking through here. The Red Devils need to get going in the second possession, Joe.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, offensively, looking to establish the run, but also establish the passing game. Need to connect on those short little dink and dunk passes that they were trying to do. I mean, hitting Amato would have been key there, but I think Hart just needs to settle down, get himself into this game, and I think he'll be just fine moving on from this game. I think they just need to take a deep breath, look around, make sure everything is all right. They know their guys. They know how to play. I think the confidence is still there. Just came out a little flat on those first two drives, or first drive offensively and defensively, but I think Coach Ransome will get them moving pretty well offensively this upcoming drive.
Yeah, but it was a pretty quick drive from Elizabeth, probably 1-2 minutes there, and only about 6 plays. For the Red Devils ran probably 4 or 5, didn't go as far. The first play of the game, a loss. So looking to change that as Arteaga fields and tries to go up the middle, and we'll get decent yards close to the 35 as Hart can come back down for his second possession here. Try to lead the Red Devils into a touchdown or at least some sort of points. Try to tie this one up. Last time the Minutemen beat the Red Devils was October 8th, 2021, 48-35. Red Devils won the last meeting, but Elizabeth have beat the Red Devils. They've played every single year since, except in 2018 for the past 6 years, and Elizabeth have won 3 out of the last 5, so the Red Devils looking to even the score here. Kuhn, Gray out there, Mongo as well, Souse in the backfield for the Red Devils, and it's he who gets the ball, and again, Joe, not much luck there.
Yeah, just looking for a cutback lane there. Sometimes I think it's doing a little bit too much, but I understand what he's doing. The cutback lane did look, but just a great job by this Elizabeth defensive line. They made the penetration as Souse went through, and they were able to turn around, not giving up on the play, and just make the play after a short gain of 3 yards.
Yep, so not too bad. That 3-yard gain will be second down for the Red Devils here. Same wide receiver setup, same person in the backfield with Souse. And whistles blow. Play goes dead. Looks like Hart was getting ready to throw there. Seemed like they're really working that play action a lot today so far. I've seen it 3-4 times. And it looks like false start as this one gets 5 yards back.
Yeah, and this is something Hunterdon Central does not want. I know Coach Ransone, Coach Bill, all the coaches for this Hunterdon Central staff, they always preach no mental mistakes. You have a holding penalty, no big deal. It's a physical mistake. A mental mistake like that, that's just losing focus.
And Hart will air this one out over the middle, incomplete again, and that will bring up a 3rd and long.
Looks like they just threw a flag. It looks like
a flag, yep.
It's a little laundry on the field. Let's see what they make this call.
I believe they are back to a similar position where they started, maybe 5 yards forward, and chains look to be moved. So first down, pass interference maybe, I think.
Yeah, it looked like it was going to be a pass interference call against the Minutemen, so Hunterdon Central able to capitalize on a mistake from Elizabeth there.
Up so it goes where the spot of the foul is. Here's Hart again. Hands it off to Souse. Tries to get his feet moving in. Decent gain there, about 4 or 5.
Yeah, and the Hunterdon Central offense is getting good movement on this this front 4 for Elizabeth. It looks like it's a front 3. It looks like they're running a 3-3 defense, but they're getting some movement. It's the linebackers coming through. They are unable to get off their double teams on those inside runs and climb to the second level and get hands on that linebacker, which would be able to free Souse up.
It looks like they're going to crowd the line this time. The Elizabeth Minutemen as Hart will drop back, steps up, and will look to run. Splits two, keeps going, and it's a very good run there from Hart. About almost 15 yards there, and moves the chains for the Red Devils as they inch towards red zone territory.
Yeah, really nice job by Hart. Went through his reads first and second and realized nobody was open. Good coverage downfield, taking what the defense gives him, picks up another first down.
And he can definitely capable with his feet. Steps up again, gets hit, keeps going, gains almost 5 there. So really looking to run this time. Hart, 92 yards he had last year against the Minutemen, and led the team in rushing and passing. So not afraid to run for it if he feels like he can. And we saw him run for the chains that time or in the play before. Definitely when the coverage is good, it really can open up for him.
Yep, especially when the DBs are doing their jobs. If their eyes are not in the backfield, that will open up so many running lanes for R.J. Hart.
So Francois, Mongo, Gray, and Kuhn, the targets for Hart on this possession. South there, it's Gray in motion. Kuhn alone on this right side as Hart drops back. Flips it to Souse. Doesn't look too fruitful. He tries to go. Gets pushed. Oh, up that sideline as he towed it. Is he in the end zone? Yes. And I don't know if they said he's out of bounds. The Minutemen don't look happy, but I believe that's a touchdown. And it looked like he ran into a cul-de-sac, Joe, but somehow turns it into 6 points. Brilliant work from Jake Souse there.
Yeah, just setting up the screenplay there. Looked like he had his blockers out in front of him, and the DB got his hands on his foot. And as you saw, Tyler Sook getting behind him, doing a bit of the bush push there, pushing him forward, freeing him up from that tackler as South is able to run down the sideline for Hunterdon Central, looking to tie this game up with this extra point.
So brilliant play by Sook to help South on his way to the end zone, and Argueta Morales puts it through as the Red Devils knot this one up even at 7, and similar to the game last week, Joe. The or almost reversed in a sense. Red Devils scored early last week. We were thinking, oh, this is a game maybe they can win comfortably, and then Piscataway hit back a fake punt and the scored touchdown, and you said, oh, we got a game on our hands. Similar here, but in the reverse manner. It looks like it's going to be a back-and-forth battle all night. And that was a great play by South, who struggled early on to knot things up even.
Yeah, just a nice play call, too. Running the screen. I mean, it didn't look like Elizabeth was expecting it. Good job by Hart holding on the ball, forcing those pass rushers to come farther upfield, more towards him, forcing them to abandon their assignment. And when you're a D lineman on a screenplay, your coaches are going to preach, put your foot in the ground, try and find the running back and try and go make a play. Able to draw those pass rushers over towards him, able to dump it off for Souse, and Souse takes it for 6.
So even at 7 is, I believe, Alan Lopez there with the kickoff. It's something what they've been doing, Lopez with the kickoffs and Morales with the extra points. And there's a run here in the backfield up that sideline and will be out of bounds. Pretty good run there around the 40. For Canty Jr. for the Minutemen.
Yeah, and Hunterdon Central, I think they're going to come out. They're going to be looking to stop the run. I think they're going to want to force this freshman quarterback to beat them. Fleming, they want him to be the one that will beat them. They don't want to lose just giving up big, huge runs. I think they're going to put some more guys. They're going to run some more different rushes, different packages, throw some things at him just to try and keep them guessing and make Fleming have to try and beat Central himself.
And the young Fleming back there. Lots of targets, one in the backfield for him. On this first down ball at the 39, he drops back to throw and airs this one out. He's got great range on his throws. That time incomplete again. Second time they've looked down that far side. Coverage, though, was good there from Artiega and Gray.
Yeah, he just has a very casual motion. Kind of just looks like he takes it back, takes a deep breath, and then just lets it fly. So I think Elizabeth realizes he is going to be able to air the ball out, but so far, great job in coverage from Artiega. They've tested him twice, and he's proved them wrong both times.
And this time it's a handoff as a bunch of Red Devils get close. Still, though, Lyles goes and gets about a 3-yard gain for the Minutemen, so we'll bring up a 3rd and long scenario.
Yeah, able to just make something out of nothing there. Looked like he was wrapped up in the backfield, able to just find some room, some daylight to try and gain some positive yards. But good job limiting the gain, limiting them to 3 yards. So Hunterdon Central, if you're the pass rushers, I think you're going to be looking to get back there as quick as possible. But I'm interested to see what this play call is because they've had success running the ball, and so far they are 0 for 2 with the long balls.
At 3rd and 7, it's a screen out wide. And that looks like it should do enough there as the tackle came in from South a bit too late, and that will be a first down for the Minutemen.
And it looks like there is penalty on the field, so interested to see what this call, because this could help out Central right here.
And it's on the offense.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a holding penalty, so Hunterdon Central bailed out of giving up the first down there. It's going to force them back to a 3rd and 16, so Hunterdon Central, if you're the pass rushers, I think it's time to pin your ears back. You know they're going to be throwing the ball here. Try and get to that quarterback.
A sack here would be very, very good, as it would make the punt that much harder and set up potentially good field position for the Red Devils, trying to take the lead, but first got to focus on stopping a first down here. Although it's 3rd and 12, Fleming dropping back, like you said, steps up now, looks to run, and is stopped there. Not much yardage for him, and that will bring up 4th down. There was many Red Devils there. Suck there, Burrito as well, and good work from the defensive line of the Red Devils to stop Fleming from advancing.
Yeah, great job by Burrito and Sook on that play. Able to stay home in their pass rush, not biting on any of his moves as he's trying to break out of the pocket and try and gain some yards. So good job staying home, wrapping him up, bringing him to the ground, and forcing a punt here.
Yep, Alejandro Mello came there, and the linebackers Espinon Lucas there as well. 4th down, and the ball punted around the 20. So we'll take a couple bounces, close to the 40 rather, and be killed dead around the 40-yard line for the Red Devils to start their offense.
Yeah, great starting field position after that successful first drive. I'm thinking more of the same, those little passes, but also establishing the run. And we haven't seen Artiega yet run the ball, so I'm interested to see how they mix him in. It looks like he's in the huddle right now as they're calling the plays, so he is a very explosive running back, as he proved against North at scoring those 3 touchdowns. So I'm looking for Artiega to get going as well.
So 2 teams, 2 possessions, 1 good one, 1 bad one for each. Red Devils have a chance here. 3rd possession to take the lead. 3:08 left to go in the quarter. As it is towards Arteaga, the little pitch again as he lost his footing there in the slick surface. Will have to dive for about a yard or 2.
Yeah, it just looked like he lost his footing there, unable to keep his ground as he was trying to put his foot in the ground and get upfield north and south, trying to get some yards, but unable to keep his footing as it is slippery out there on the turf. It's hard when it gets wet, so tough for Artiega to put his foot in the ground and really burst up there, but able to get some positive yardage.
So keep things tight again here as Kuhn will fan out wide. Hart drops back and is sacked there as 2 Minutemen came to meet him. Just wanted a bit too much time as he was trying to wait for Kuhn's route to develop, and that will set the Red Devils back 6 or 7 yards there.
Yeah, nothing doing passing-wise. Everybody covered. Good job from Elizabeth, able to stay with their man, not let anybody escape out. And then good job keeping contained from these defensive ends, not letting Hart roll out of the pocket where he is dangerous once he gets out of that pocket and is able to run north and south up the field. They were able to keep contained, keep him in the pocket, and make that sack to force a 3rd and very long for Hunterdon Central.
And it was Ramirez, Alexander Ramirez, who got to him first, and now 3rd and 16 for the Red Devils. Hart to drop back as Amato over the middle, step up again, look to go for it, splits 2, will get close, he'll die for it. And this will be interesting to see if they give this to him. Joe, it looked like a tall task to get the first down, and he was very, very close.
Yeah, just doing a really nice job making tackles missing. And once again, Hart is being very smart with the football, not trying to force it in anywhere into a tight window, just taking what the defense is giving. They only brought 4 on that one with a delayed blitz from the nickel corner, but Hart able to escape, gain a 16 or 17 yards, able to force a 4th and 1. So Hunterdon Central looks like they are going to be calling a timeout. Coach Ransone did not like what he saw from that defensive front for the Minutemen.
Artiega looked to be a bit confused there at what was going on, but Hart will look like he wanted to do the bit of a QB sneak there, but instead it's over to the sidelines to talk things over here, Joe. You would expect a run, but see how the Minutemen set up there. There seems to be their strength, stopping that one up the middle. Their one touchdown came from the run on the outside, and real success came on the outside. But see what they do here. They just need to push it at 1 yard and keep the chains moving.
Yep, I'm interested to see what Hunterdon Central is, because the potential for a bootleg or something here is very high. I mean, if Elizabeth is going to line up like how they just showed they were going to line up on that play, loading the tackle box up with players, putting almost 8 or 9 guys right on the line of scrimmage. If I'm Hunterdon Central, I think I might call a bootleg or something.
Let's see what they do. Hart seems to not go under center like he was before. Back a couple yards further. Has Arteaga, or South that is, with him in the backfield. 3 wide receivers set up for the Red Devils. See what they're going to do here. And it's Hart. He will run for it, and he'll run very well. And similar to that theme of him running successfully against Elizabeth, stays true this year. Has not only completed the one pass to Kuhn, but has gotten lots of rushing yards.
Yeah, just a really nice job. It looked like Elizabeth had 6 guys on the offensive line there trying to stop any run in the middle, but Hunterdon Central smartly calls an outside zone, running the ball to that left-hand side, able to pick up the first down with Souse running as the lead blocker there.
That's 3 on that left side. As Souse goes out wide, they'll throw it to him. Gets 1 block and can't get too much further. He gets still getting pushed by Bree, though, as they're still up there. That's a good 4-yard gain from the screen from the Red Devils. It looked like it was going to be a loss, but South just able to make things happen.
Yeah, and it looks like there are 2 penalty flags on the field at different points. One at the 35 or 35, and one at the 42. So I'm interested to see what these calls are.
And Hart appears to be going back.
So it's 2 penalties against Hunterdon Central, so it's going to be a holding and a block in the back. Elizabeth is going to take the holding to force Hunterdon Central back 10 more yards and make it a 1st and 20.
So 1st and 20 looks like the 45. And the referees in conversation with refs will spot the ball right at the 47-yard line. 29.1 left to go now in this first quarter. And just to see what the Red Devils do here. 1st and long situation. As Hart looks over to that sideline.
And Hunterdon Central loves to run out of this tight trips formation on the right-hand side with Amato, the farthest man inside. They like to move him in motion to have a nice little lead blocker.
See how it plays out here. As he goes in motion, it's Hart that keeps it himself instead. And pretty good gain, about 6 yards. And that should conclude the first quarter, and it does. So the Red Devils fell early, but tied things back up at 7 apiece, and now we'll start with the ball in this second quarter. A chance to take the lead there. It's been Hart seems to be driving the show with his feet too much. Haven't seen him drop back as much, but the Red Devils had most of the most time possession, I should say. It was Elizabeth had that quick second possession in the first possession, only a couple plays, but was very effective, scoring the touchdown. So the Red Devils seem to be controlling things here, but hit a bit of a roadblock with this holding call, Joe. Should set up a good second quarter, though. Both teams knotted up.
Yeah, I mean, Hunterdon Central, I think, is going to look for these long, sustained drives where they're able to keep the clock moving, keep the game moving, because with this offense of Elizabeth, as we saw on that first drive, they are very, very explosive. They can break a play at any time. And so for Hunterdon Central, I think the key is owning that time of possession. If you can keep the ball out of this Elizabeth offense's hands as long as possible, that is a win for them, especially with Hart being such an effective runner. They definitely need Souse and Artiega to get going on the run game, because you can't solely rely on your quarterback to run the ball for you. But so far, Hart has been very effective running the ball.
Yep, and it's something we haven't seen too much that for him where they've designed those running plays for him. We've seen a little QB sneak here and there, but mostly his runs have been scramble. But today they've designed a couple of different running plays for him, trying to switch things up as South was looking like he was getting stopped early on as there's Gray in motion. And now Hart does drop back. And he'll step up again, he'll run again, and will do well to get a yard there. Just about got back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, just a nice job taking with the defense, get a couple yards, but Hunterdon Central needs to establish this game, and Elizabeth is doing a very nice job protecting themselves over the top. They're not letting Hunterdon Central get behind them so Hart can take a shot, because that's what happened last week with Piscataway. They got caught sleeping a little bit, 2 touchdowns where they just got beat over the top to tie the game and then to win the game for Hunterdon Central.
And Gray, again the man in motion. As Hart appeared like he was going to get the ball, now we'll look back over. And Hart back, stepping up, another look as he will take the ball. And he'll run again, and that's a good play from behind, but he fell forward. And again, decent gain there. It's all adding up, and it will bring a 4th down up here. Remember, it was 1st and 20. Now it brings up 4th down, about 8-9 yards.
Yeah, and I think Hunterdon Central's kind of caught here in no man's land in between the 34 and 35 yard line. Too close to punt, too far to be able to kick a field goal, so you're just kind of forced to have to try and get this 1st down and keep this drive moving.
It was a 4th and 6, so slightly manageable, but also a bit long there for the Red Devils. Here's a delay as they will look over. Make sure they get a good play here. Try to extend things over. Hart doesn't look like he's trying to get on the ball. May just take the delay of game. And I think that's what they do. And to give McNally easier chance to punt the ball.
Actually, it looks like Hunterdon Central took their 2nd of their 3 timeouts
To that as well.
prevent the delay game, try and get a good play call in, get the guys settled, let them know what they're doing. So I like this play call, calling the timeout, setting up their offense specifically with the play they want, because this is something you work on. When you get caught out here in no man's land, this is something you work on a 4th and 6, the 4th and 7. You need to have those plays where your wide receivers get to the sticks a little bit farther and are able to bring the ball down safely and get that 1st down.
Yeah, it's something the Red Devils seemed, we saw in the Piscataway game where they almost didn't call play at the end of that 1st half, so never really quite know what they're going to do, if they're going to be aggressive or conservative. This time they call the timeout, get things set up, and we'll look to attack this Minutemen defense and try to move the chains here. So it's Francois they bring out now. Gray again in motion, Kuhn alone. And Hart will roll out to his left. Well, look, he's got Gray. If he can get it there, should be a touchdown. And it's too far out of bounds. And a turnover on down, so the Elizabeth Minutemen and Arik Fleming can get going at the 34-yard line.
Yeah, I really like that play call, sending Gray in motion and having him run that deep wheel route with both guys on the outside running inside, trying to get that safety to bite on the inside moves with the first 2 wide receivers, with the number 3 running that wheel route down the sideline. But a really nice job by the corner, able to run with him, stay with him, and able to just get that job done as the ball is thrown a little bit too close to the sideline.
It was a small window that Gray had, a bit of probably half a yard of space, but just wasn't enough for Hart to force it through, as Fleming will get back into the offense at the 34-yard line. I've seen him drop back and throw that long ball a lot. This time he takes it himself as he faked the handoff. Still going. And he faked the handoff to Jamal Lyles there, and instead went himself for about 5 yards.
Yeah, just a really nice job making people miss. Looked like he was bottled up in the backfield, but able to make a couple guys miss, free himself up, gain some positive yards. So Hunterdon Central looking to contain this offense because you do not want to let players reverse field when all your help is coming over to the one side of the field. You don't want to let them reverse field and have wide open green grass for days.
That's Emma Canty back in there for Elizabeth. He's set up as a wide receiver here on this far side, or the near side rather, and it's thrown, and a great play by South to cut that one off immediately. That was to Najee Smith, the other freshman. South read it well, and good technique on the tackle to wrap up and bring Smith down.
Yeah, perfect timing, perfect play by Souse there. Read the screen immediately, was able to make the blocker that was coming out to get him miss, and was able to wrap him up as soon as he gets the ball. As soon as that wide receiver touches the ball, Souse was on top of him. So great job by Souse timing that hit, not getting there too early or too late and letting him get any sort of yardage.
So 3rd and 7 here for the Minutemen. Fleming to take the snap, will drop back to throw, and he'll try to run for this, and he fell very acrobatically forward, and looks like he'll get that there. They were close to getting him in the backfield there. It was Mello very, very close to him, but just about did enough there to escape and to move the change for the Minutemen close to the 50-yard line. About 9 to go in this first half.
Yeah, good coverage from this Hunterdon Central secondary, but the pass rush is unable to get home, and it gives Fleming the time to realize he has nobody open, take what he can get, and get that first down for the Minutemen.
So under 9 to go for Rick Fleming here. And this Minutemen offense hands it off to Lyles this time. Good gain of 6 there.
Yeah, just a nice, easy, simple power run to the left side, running it right through the 3 or 5 hole right there if you want to get technical. But just a good play call, just establishing that run game, making sure Hunterdon Central knows the threat of the run is there. But Hunterdon Central, I'm looking for this D-line to really step up here. That was their strong suit last week. Their defensive line played an unbelievable game, bottling up those Piscataway running backs. But so far, Elizabeth has had some success running the ball.
And they'll do it again. Same thing, but on that opposite side, and loads of red hats getting there to tackle the ball carrier. And that was a good play defensively from the Red Devils to stop that one a bit shorter than the last one.
Yeah, nice job by Souse meeting him at the point of attack and driving him backwards, letting the help drive that guy backwards and just making the stop, not allowing any more yardage.
So it'll be a 3rd and 5 now for the Minutemen. Crucial here. Chance for them to take the lead. Fleming rolls out right. Will throw this one. Oh, and a great catch on that right side. And that is Najee Smith there. Beautiful, beautiful catch there to move the chains for the Minutemen. Looked a bit high, but he brought it back down very well.
Yeah, ball looked a little high, but just a really nice job going up and getting that ball, being able to fight off the contact because it was great coverage from Hunterdon Central, able to force him to that sideline, but good job getting up, getting that ball. And Hunterdon Central looked like they brought pressure, and they were trying to get home on that one, but Fleming able to escape pressure and get that ball out of his hands.
And they run it this time to McDougall there instead of Canty or Lyles. They have a bunch of options there, and he will pick up about 4 yards. There we see McDougall. And it's 2nd down now for the Minutemen, close to red zone territory. 2nd and 4. Oh, Fleming, lots of pressure on him. He jumps and throws this one long, and that is picked off, I think, in the end zone, or was it incomplete?
Looked like it got dropped. Looked like it was a perfect opportunity for Hunterdon Central to intercept that pass, but unable to come down with it. I mean, that is a risky throw from the freshman. Sometimes that's could have been a freshman mistake from him, just trying to make something out of nothing, but that's when you're trying to do way too much, trying to get a jump throw 35 yards downfield as you're getting hit. But luckily for Elizabeth, Hunterdon Central was unable to pick that ball off, so Hunterdon Central needs to capitalize on opportunities like that.
And now another third down here. They've been able to capitalize a lot on this possession on third downs, 2 in a row. This is their third one. It's a run this time, and that one will be short. And it's interesting you say that because if we watch some of the last 2 games, Fleming, if he's in trouble, he doesn't throw it away. He's always trying to create something that has led to some unnecessary interceptions he's thrown. And that one really should have been, but couldn't quite get there. He's had 3 interceptions in 2 games. We'll try to run for this, and we'll get the first down with the fourth down conversion. So close to red zone territory for the Minutemen as they move the chains yet again.
Yeah, it actually looked like Fleming wanted to go back into the shotgun for that one, but the running back shoves him back up under center and forces him to just QB sneak it to get that last yard. So just Hunterdon Central, this is where the field gets smaller. This is where the offensive playbook really shrinks down in size. This is where Hunterdon Central needs to capitalize.
And Fleming to drop back, and flags and whistles. False start on the offense, so bit of a break now for the Red Devils as the first penalty, I believe, on the Minutemen has been only from the Red Devils today. Ransom definitely won't be happy about that.
No, definitely not. You don't want to be leading the other team in penalties. You never want to have more than the other team. But for Hunterdon Central, the penalties, they can't be mental mistakes. It can't be stuff like offsides or false start, anything like that, because that is a mental mistake. That's just when you lose focus and you're not really paying attention. You're just worried about other things that are going on in the game. So for Hunterdon Central, they need to limit those mistakes. And if Elizabeth makes those mistakes, Hunterdon Central needs to capitalize. With them behind the sticks, this forces them to kind of be in a throwing situation. I know it's only 1st and 15, but when you're behind the sticks, if you go get no yards on this first down, then it makes it a 2nd and very long for them.
Yeah, it's a possession where Elizabeth Central's done well. They've gone Elizabeth to 3rd and 6, 3rd and 5, 3rd and 4, had that good chance at the interception, but have not been able to make it count. Now they get the penalty as Elizabeth wants to talk things over with the timeout. So see what they can do. 1st and 15. Probably will end up going for it if it is 4th down. So 4 chances for Elizabeth to get 15 yards. Fleming back there and will drop back to throw yet again. Over the middle. And I believe that is incomplete. Almost looked like a perfect throw and catch there.
Yeah, just a really nice job by Gray getting his hand over, coming from that safety position where he plays, and it looks like he is standing at the sticks like he's playing center field, able to read Fleming's eyes, able to react to that ball, and able to get a hand in there and make it uncomfortable for that receiver trying to come down with that ball.
And Fleming's so comfortable dropping back. He's a freshman but tall, 6'2", 175, has the ability just to see over the line and pick out the passes he needs to pick out. So does it a lot, and he'll do it again. There's no one in the backfield with him. Will he step up to run? Tries to escape. And a huge pile now converging as he gets back to around the original spot. May even got a bit more. So about a 7-8 yard gain for Fleming there on the run. Will bring up a 3rd and long scenario for the Minutemen.
Yeah, and just a good job by this Hunterdon Central defensive line and linebackers. It looked like Elizabeth was trying to spread them out, get everybody out of the middle of the field, maybe open up a running lane for a QB draw or something. But Hunterdon Central able to bring him down after a short gain of 5 or 6 yards. So Hunterdon Central definitely needs to capitalize on this 3rd and 10.
So 5 minutes to go in the second quarter. As 3rd and 10, Fleming to drop back. Lucas got to him as he threw that one. Incomplete. Great play there. I think it was Souse and Lucas who were the close to him. Lucas had a very good game last time with 11 tackles, Joe, and that time intervening again.
Yeah, just a really nice job pass rushing, high motor play. Just when Fleming's rolling out of the pocket, you need to be going all out to try and get yourself as close as possible to him. Great job getting over there, forcing a bad throw by hitting him while he's throwing. Ball looked like it was a little high, bounced off the receiver's hand. So Hunterdon Central once again making another stop. This is where it counts, though. You need to make a stop on 4th down.
And they will leave the offense out for 4th and 10. Fleming will drop back and air another one out towards the right pylon of the end zone. And that one is incomplete. Good coverage there from Francois and Gray who came over. So turnover on downs for the Minutemen, and it's a complete opposite narrative of that first quarter where Central loads of time of possession. It's Elizabeth who were controlling the ball, invested a lot into that possession, and unfortunate for them, come up empty-handed. But for the Red Devils, 4:47 to try to go into the half with the lead, and there will be the Minutemen who will start with the ball in the second half. So crucial possession for the Red Devils here.
Yeah, big time. This is a huge possession for Hunterdon Central. They started with the ball, so they are going to be giving the ball back to Elizabeth to start the second half. So for Hunterdon Central, you are looking to go up one, because if you have a quick 3 and out here, it opens up an opportunity for a 2-for-1 for Elizabeth, where they can score before the half and then they get the ball at the start of the second half. So Hunterdon Central looking to at least have a long sustained drive, drain that clock down, so even if you don't score, you don't give Elizabeth a chance on offense.
Yeah, it's both Arteaga and Souse in the backfield, and his Hart will just keep it and go himself, and will push for about 2-3 yards. Hasn't dropped back as much as Fleming has in this game. Done it mostly with his feet.
Yeah,
I mean, it's just been kind of a consistent short gains, Joe.
Yeah, they're just drawing up the QB power as we see Hart actually lining up here at wide receiver with Souse taking the snap. So we have 3 running backs now in for Hunterdon Central. So they are going to the Wildcat. They are going to just try and pound the rock.
And we've seen that a lot in the last 2 games. It's Souse to run, and flags on the field.
It's going to be a false start against Hunterdon Central. So basically puts them back to a 2nd and 10.
Another flag for the Red Devils. Not what the coaching staff and the team would like to see.
Yeah, this is just something that they can't be doing, just getting these false start penalties. This isn't something you want, because then you're just putting yourself farther back and back into the Minutemen's defensive zone, where they can really tee off as they push you farther back towards their own end zone.
The Red Devils will let the clock tick under 4 to go. Hart will look over. Second and 7. Amato in motion. Hart hands it off to Souse. Keeps the legs moving and will get close to the marker there. Good run there from Souse. He's had a bit of a quiet day, but with the touchdown and a couple good moments that stood out from him. But other than that, it's been a struggle to get by the Minutemen front line.
Yeah, the Minutemen have done a nice job trying to bottle up this run game for Hunterdon Central, but Souse just keeping his feet moving, able to gain those yards back and make it to a 3rd and very manageable for this Hunterdon Central offense. So I think they're going to be airing the ball out here. Look for Amato on one of those little out routes. They love to hit him on to try and get another first down.
Yep, 3rd and short here. Mongo alone on this far side. I'm not seeing him get targeted at all. And he's gone to the post and said it's going to this right side. Oh, and another drop pass. Looked like it was great over the middle. 3rd and 4, and now they will bring up the punting unit. Not going to risk it here, but just give the Minutemen some time to try to get that 2-for-1 like you said, Joe.
Yeah, just a nice job from the defensive end for Elizabeth, forcing Amato to have to go around him. He was trying to run a little drag route across the middle with Gray coming in behind him, but it looked like they almost ran into each other because the defensive end forced Amato to have to get farther upfield before he could get farther into his route. So good job from this Minuteman defense.
With McNally again. Only 2nd time he's been out to punt this one. That's a good kick there again. About an 80-yard punt. No fair catch as he runs by Amato and towards the 45-yard line. So 2:38 for Fleming to try to get something going. There's not loads of possession for the Red Devils in this 2nd quarter. It'll be Elizabeth to take it again and try to get the lead going into the break.
And we did just see a flag fly after the play over by Decker McNally. It looks like a Minuteman took a shot at him and hit him after the whistle. So that's going to be a personal foul against the Minutemen, push them farther back. So that's a big play for Hunterdon Central in this defense, forcing them back farther into their own end zone, trying to keep them as far away from theirs.
So it'll be a 15-yard personal foul penalty normally. And it was around the 45, so see it probably step back to close to the 30, and it looks like that's where they're going to spot the ball. Maybe be a 20-yard one, Joe.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to spot it at Elizabeth's own 27-yard line. So that puts them in a bit of a hole from where they could have had great field position starting at Hunterdon Central's 40.
So 2:38 to go. See if Elizabeth want to attack us aggressively or play conservative and not try to get a turnover or a quick 4 and out as I run it on this left side. Good tackle by Souse there as it was a run by Smith again.
Yeah, just a really nice job from Souse in the defensive line. They saw that motion go across. Looked like they were trying to make as much room to this close sideline to us, trying to make as much room as possible for that reverse, but Hunterdon Central does not bite on the fake, and Souse is able to stay home and get outside of those blockers and make that nice play in the backfield.
And now past that 2-minute mark, as Fleming takes this snap. They work the screen, seen them do that a lot, and Espinat was there, as well as Burrito and Lucas to stop that one from going any further.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of shocked. We just saw a close side of the field screen play to the outside. Usually you want to get as far away from the main part of this Hunterdon Central defense if you're running a wide receiver screen, but I guess they liked what they saw with the formation, thought they could get their blockers set up, but just a really nice job from this Hunterdon Central defense rallying to the ball and able to make a nice play.
So less than 1:30 to go. Certainly taking a lot of time. The Minutemen probably will air this one out. It's what Fleming likes to do. And he takes a bit more. And he'll air that one out towards the left side. And that is incomplete.
Yeah, ball just put a little bit too far, too close to the sideline. Good coverage and good job by this Hunterdon Central defensive line. It looked like Elizabeth went to a bit of a hard count there, trying to get Hunterdon Central to jump off sides, but able to not jump, not move, not fight, or not bite on the fake. So good job staying home and being able to just relax, settle into your defense, watch the ball. That's a big thing they preach here at Hunterdon Central as a defensive lineman. You need to watch the ball. Don't listen to a word the quarterback is saying.
So 4th and 6. The Minutemen set up to punt. Flags thrown. And it'll be... looks like a false start, so they'll go 5 yards back. With a minute and a second to go.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what Hunterdon Central does here because last week, as we said previously, they really kind of sat on the ball towards the end of the half. But if they get really good field position from this punt, I think you have to try and take a shot towards the end zone.
And that's a fair catch signal from Gray around the 40. So maybe a couple quick plays to the sideline and try to take a shot at the end zone. 54.2 to go. But more realistically, with the way they've been going, probably just run and a kneel and go into the second half all even at 7.
Yeah, I think if you put on film what happened last week at the end of the half, I think if you're Hunterdon Central, I don't think Elizabeth is going to be ready for you to come out and take a shot. I would like to see Hunterdon Central take a shot here, but I mean that's me calling it from the booth, not being the actual coach and knowing how the guys feel down there on the field.
Yep, certainly a shot will be what the fans would like to see here. Aggression and from the Red Doves try to take the lead. But we'll see what happens as the Minutemen only 3 on the line. And Hart will throw. It's a short game there, under 50 seconds to play.
Yeah, that's actually the perfect play call. If Amato doesn't lose his feet there, it looked like they had that set up and they had green grass. So they run the screen, the double fake screen where you swing Souse out to the side, try and get those linebackers to go with them, and they did, and then throw it back underneath to Amato, but unfortunately loses his footing.
Under 30 as Hart will drop back again. Air this one out towards Souse as again he fell. Oh, that's Souse this time. Amato fell before under 19 to go. The clock's still running. And now they stop it. 13.8 to play.
I think they're going to have to put some time back onto the clock because that was an incomplete pass, and the clock is supposed to stop
Yep.
as soon as that ball touches the turf. But looks like the timer got caught sleeping a little bit there. Didn't stop the clock in time.
Everything's been delayed today, Joe.
Yep. So interested to see what Hunterdon Central does here, and I'm interested to see how much time is actually left on the clock.
16 they put back.
Yeah, I think that's a bit of a underestimate of how much time they let run off.
They looked a bit closer to 20, but Hart will take it, pitch it towards Souse. And he'll run up to that marker, and looks like that will conclude the first half of action. So 2 teams, 2 good drives. Other than that, not a much more consistency, and that leads this game set at 7 apiece going into the second half. Stay tuned here for second half action on HCTV. Thank you for tuning in.
And joining us here on the halftime show on the HCTV live stream, Red Devils senior Ian Lucas. Big performance last week, Ian, double-digit tackles. What was it like being a part of such an electric atmosphere at Stewart Field?
To me, it's magical. It's really something that I've been working for all my years. Being with a team like this, definitely with the guys I have, they're like a family. They're like the people who I know have my back, and I always have their back. And just the performance that I did, and not only that they did, it's just, I think it made my night, made my month. We really put in the work, and I'm just happy that we got the job done.
Ian, what's the difference been this year? Again, don't want to overreact on just 2 games, but this team has looked really good. What has been the difference in the Red Devils this year?
Definitely the work output. It's definitely been the coming out every single day, blazing heat, getting it done, getting our work done, keeping it to the status quo, keeping it consistent. We set a standard, and we're going to keep that standard.
Ian, what has it been like just being a part of this Red Devils football program?
To me, I have a brother, but to me it's like having a whole nother family. It's having like a bunch of other brothers that you know can just be there for you, can look out for you if when you know you're tough. We have people here who looked out for my family when I wasn't there, and it means a lot to me.
And that was Red Devils senior Ian Lucas. Stay tuned for second half action.
So back here for second half action from Elizabeth here. The Minutemen taking on the Red Devils. Third quarter about to start. And both teams knotted up at 7. Joe, it was we saw some good things in the first half, but a lot of missed opportunities for both teams. What were your thoughts on that first half?
Yeah, I thought both teams played very well. In Elizabeth's first drive, they moved the ball very effectively, scoring on probably their 5th or 6th snap on offense. But since then, they have kind of stalled out. They did have that one long methodical drive, but unfortunately for them, they were not able to capitalize. And Hunterdon Central has had trouble moving the ball and establishing the run game with their 2 lead backs. The only one who's been super effective running the ball so far today has been RJ Hart. If I'm Hunterdon Central, you have to get Artiega and Souse going on the run game if you want to win this game.
Yep, Souse does have the 1 touchdown for the Red Devils. Morales with the extra point, as is Lopez preparing to take the opening kickoff. It was the Red Devils loads of possession in the first quarter, and Elizabeth loads possession in the second quarter. But knotted up at 7 here as the Minutemen look to run this one out and get close to the 40 as they will start their opening possession with Arik Fleming, the freshman. Joe, it seems crazy just a freshman quarterback leading a school the size of Elizabeth. Can't even imagine that, but did look pretty comfortable back there in the first half.
Yeah, he looked very comfortable in this offense. He looked like he knew what he was doing. He knew where the ball was going. He knew what he wanted to do. And it's surprising. You very rarely do see a starting freshman quarterback for a high school, especially the size of Elizabeth, one of the biggest high schools in the state. But he has been playing well. He has been proving himself to be a very good quarterback. He's a good thrower. He hasn't completed all of his passes. He's overthrown a couple, but he has shown the talent is there. And he just needs to try and take care of the ball because he did have that one jump throw that almost cost them a possession. And Hunterdon Central, if he does make a mistake like that, you need to capitalize on those mistakes.
Yep, and they've been running the ball a lot with various different players. Lyles, Smith, and Canty, a couple of the two, as I think it was a jump as they moved things back before even a play was run, a motto pointing. And McDougall there also one of the targets to run the ball as they run it again. That is Lyles, and that's a pretty good run as he gets close to first down territory.
Yeah, that is a really nice play design from this Elizabeth offense. Faking the pass with Fleming, having him act like he's going to do an actual pump fake, and then just hand the ball off on a draw play. Really nice play design. Hunterdon Central, their DBs and linebackers both dropped out in pass coverage expecting the throw, but they capitalized on an open running lane with Hunterdon Central's pass rushers reading run, trying to get upfield.
So one play, one first down as they give it to the same man again, and he'll try to move the chains, and he does so successfully. So run game being established here for the Minutemen. We have not seen too much of their leading receiver target, Ibd McDaniel, who has 216 receiving yards this year. It's been a lot of running and a lot of Fleming doing it as well, but so far Lyles getting going early on.
Yeah, that was just the exact same play, ran to the opposite side. And if I'm Elizabeth, I think they're going to try and run this play as many times as they can until Hunterdon Central proves they can stop this little draw.
And a pump fake and a handoff again, and a very similar result. I believe it's Smith this time that will take it and will move the chains. 30 yards in 3 plays for the Minutemen. Not too shabby at all.
Yeah, they have run the exact same play coming out of this half 3 times in a row, and Hunterdon Central has not adjusted so far, and it looks like they're coming out in the exact same formation. I think they're going to run it again.
And yet again, they do it, as it was 2nd and 1, and we'll get the first down. And Fleming having an easy start, just handing the ball off here to his various options, and that will move the chains under 10:30 now. Just like that, almost 2 minutes gone. And look where the Minutemen are. Just pushed the ball 40 yards up the field.
Yeah, nice job stopping that that carry just then, but still gave up the first down. They only needed a half a yard, and they got 3. So good job getting the first down, and they are, looks like a very similar formation.
Bit of motion now towards that right side. And again, as it's Fleming who keeps it this time. A bit of trickery that time and some movement, and that will get close to first down territory as well.
Yeah, they ran the reverse. They showed the exact same motion that they did when they ran it, but they countered it with the quarterback power, faking the handoff to the receiver coming across, just pounding it in, getting a nice gain of 9 yards. So very effective running the ball so far. Elizabeth is coming out with a clear game plan to try and run the ball down Hunterdon Central's throats.
It's similar to that first drive when they were going quick, they were successful, and they're starting with that same tempo, not slowing things down like they did at times in that second quarter, as again they go quickly with the pump fake and the run, and that's very, very good. Look, almost 20 yards there into close to the 10-yard line, and now very close to the end zone for the Minutemen.
Yeah, it looks like they kind of found their bread and butter play with this little pump fake draw action.
They do it again. Up the middle, as Red Devils were there to make the stop. I believe it was Lyles with the carry, but a couple yards away from the end zone. Not even a pass attempt yet from Fleming, as their referee signals for the clock to get moving here. And Fleming will hand it off as he will reach to break the plane. The referees come over to look.
Looks like
they signal the touchdown, Joe.
No, it actually looks like they marked him down
a bit short.
A bit short, but I think they're going to try and run the QB sneak to try and get him in here.
And it was Burrito trying to intervene. That one could be short as well.
And it looks like they're signaling third down, so great stop there on the inch line from this Hunterdon Central defense, but Elizabeth, super effective so far. Run like 8 or 9 plays, and they've already dragged out 4 minutes of this play clock, or the game time clock, and it looks like they're going right back to that QB sneak formation.
They run those plays to get 40 yards, but struggling to get that crucial half inch to try to punch it in, and need to take a timeout to talk things over with Coach John Fiore's second year in charge. There was a Ransonger, I believe, once coached this Elizabeth team back in their glory days. Have been struggling a bit of late, similar to the Red Devils, but here would not know it as they've come out electric and with a point to prove and close to taking the lead here with 7:56 to go in the third quarter.
Yep, you are absolutely right. Coach Ransone was one of the coaches on this Elizabeth staff when they were one of the most explosive teams in the state, with the current NFL quarterback PJ Walker on the roster as their starting quarterback. But he was Philip Walker at that point before he changed to PJ when he went to Temple. But he was super explosive with Coach Ransone on this staff. But they have struggled to get this half inch, and they are looking to run the ball, whereas at that point they were a throwing heavy team. They were airing the ball out when they have such an elite quarterback back there. But this is a little bit of a different roster than it was a couple years ago.
If Fleming doesn't mind a good Hollywood ball, but right now it's just about grit and strength and desire to break this plane. The line is super crowded as they give it, and I think Arteaga may have ended up pushing him in, actually trying to wrap him up. And that is a touchdown, so the Minutemen, similar to their first score, get things going quickly and get 6 points back up on the board as they take the lead early in this second half.
Yeah, just a very strong drive from this Elizabeth team, not throwing the ball one single time, just going back to back to back with that simple draw play with the pump fake, and that's keeping these DBs from jumping right down into stopping the run. When your quarterback is threatening to throw a pass, it's hard to be able to just abandon your receiver, especially when he's doing those little pump fakes. You don't know if that's going to be a quick screen or if he's going to hand the ball off. Even though they ran it a bunch of times in a row, they can still throw a little quick screen out there. So for Hunterdon Central, definitely going to look to make some adjustments here.
So Lazo gets the extra point as the Minutemen take the 14-7 lead. You can see it's still a bit wet around there. You can see on the track and in the air. See if that affects the Red Devils. You're talking about Hart kept changing out the balls. See if that will, what they're going to do differently here. Try to establish some game through the air and maybe see if they can get South and Arteaga up and firing.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be a big key for Hunterdon Central in this half. They need to be able to establish a running back with that two-headed monster they have with South and Arteaga.
So we wait this kickoff as the two deep men back, Gray, Arteaga. And the opening drive, more than 4 minutes there. Not as long as some of the others, but way more effective as that kick was short. I think they tried the onside. And they're signaling like they haven't really caught everyone off guard. Something the Union Farmers did a couple years ago against the Red Devils, but the Red Devils do retrieve it. So a bit of a gift here, you think, as we'll start right at the 50.
Yeah, really trying to catch Hunterdon Central off guard, going down and scoring a quick touchdown and then trying the onside kick. But good job by that front line of this Hunterdon Central special teams being able to fall on that ball, protect it, make sure they're able to retain possession. And this gives R.J. Hart great starting field position at the 50-yard line.
It took about 2 seconds off the clock as the Red Devils will start just in front of the 50. As they bring out the cavalry in terms of Mongo, Kuhn, and Gray. And it looks like South's back there as he's had some issues with his footing. Did score that one touchdown as he tiptoed that sideline with the help of Tyler Suck. So Hart to take this snap with Amato in motion. Will hand this one off to South. And he'll push it for about a gain of 3 to 4.
Yeah, just trying to establish that run game, that inside run. But this Elizabeth defensive line has done a really nice job clogging up those inside running lanes. I think if you're Hunterdon Central, you have to start looking to either establish the run outside, a couple outside zones, couple sweeps. They were really effective last week running that little quick pitch out of shotgun. We haven't seen that a ton, so I think we're going to start seeing that a little bit more from this Hunterdon Central offense.
Type of screen, something that's been working well for them to work those outside zones, see if they go back to it. As Hart will throw that one, and it was over the head of Gray, as Mongo is tightly covered Gray as well. And that will bring up a 3rd and long situation for the Red Devils. So a couple plays, not much time, and not much distance gained either, Joe.
Yeah, it looked like Gray was trying to get as much depth as possible on that throw, and Hart just tried to get it out as quick as possible. Looked like a little bit of a miscommunication from the two, unable to connect on a 3rd and long, or on the 2nd and long. So looking to try and capitalize on this field position here and not give the ball back and have a quick 3 and out to open up this half.
I think probably will go for it on 4th. May try to pin them in if they don't get this. Hart rolls out right. And now will throw, and there was a pass attempted for Amato, I believe. And I think he caught it. Or yep, they ruled as a catch. And it was a nice route there from Amato. Haven't seen him too active on the offensive side, but that time good route, good catch from him.
Yeah, I really like that play design from Hunterdon Central, and it looks like they're about to tack on another 15 yards with a personal foul against the Minutemen. So Hunterdon Central getting some help from this Minutemen defense, but really like that.
That was a confusion. I didn't know what they were ruling.
Yep, saw the head referee signal the personal foul on the defense, so we're going to see how they mark this one out. But on that play design, that was really nice. Running a sprint package with the offensive line to the right, get everybody moving to the right, and get that defense moving to the right, with Amato coming back across the field, having Hart set his feet, throw the ball across the field to a wide-open Amato. Ball looked like it was a little bit too far, but great adjustment from Amato, being able to jump on that ball, catch it, secure the first down.
Yep, and those little routes there, gains that can maybe help Hart find his rhythm and get going there, but Amato sometimes can be an afterthought in this wide receiver setup when you have the likes of Kuhn and Gray there. But he did well there to reel that one and had to stretch for it. I think maybe the foul was he may have gone hit as he was defenseless on the floor. It's something that usually is called a lot nowadays.
Yep, all about player safety now, so don't want anybody hitting when they're getting hit when they're standing there defenseless and they don't have the ball. It's just unnecessary in today's game. So good call by these referees, and Hunterdon Central needs to capitalize on this situation that they've been gifted with great field position and have been moving the ball. They just need to get this ball into the end zone, retie this game up, get some momentum offensively.
So it's been a very long stoppage between plays here, as about 30 yards have been gained or so, or maybe probably 20. And now they move it back, so a bit less now. And now we'll get back with 7:01 to go. Just like that, about on more than 5 played, as Hart will air one out to the right side. And again, he's been a bit high with his throws, and it's another one. It's a bit too high.
Yeah, it looked like both receivers just kind of got a little tangled up. Looked like they were a little bit too close. Hart trying to have to fit that ball in the window. But when your receivers get too close, if you're running an overs concept like that where you're having one guy do a shallow out and another guy have a little bit deeper out, when you get too close, that allows the defenders to hop from which guy to which guy. Whoever gets the ball, those defenders are able to react and go towards whoever's the ball is intended to.
So 2nd and 10 situation here, as it's flipped to South. And South will turn it to a 5-yard gain, as it will bring up a 3rd and manageable for the Red Devils, nearing in on that 25-yard line.
Yep, definitely good run. Just get some yards back. Start off the possession, or 2nd down. Gain some yards after you miss on 1st down, missing on the starting play of this for 1st and 10. But 3rd and manageable for Central. Looking for another one of those out routes. They really like that when they get Hart rolling out to his right or left and throwing that ball, dumping it off down to the outside.
Or rather, 3rd and long scenario, about 7 to go. As you say, he goes right, we'll step up, we'll run for it, and we'll get there. And some more, we'll sidestep left and get into the red zone. So has struggled a bit throwing the ball today, but with his feet, he's been superb.
Yeah, really nice job realizing that the defense scraped really hard over to that right side, trying to prevent him from getting outside of the pocket. But in doing so, they opened up a massive running lane in the middle of the field for Hart to capitalize and get another 1st down for this offense to keep it moving.
Loads of space behind James Mongo there on that left side. And instead it's Souse who will get another loss. Had a couple of those today. Just Elizabeth front line that can really read what's going to happen and get there in a blink of an eye.
Yeah, they're playing very instinctively. They're not second-guessing their decisions. Once they read run, these linebackers are flying up to try and make a play, and they've been doing a really nice job bottling up South, who's been super effective so far this year. But so far, he's been bottled up a little bit by this defense. They've been focusing in on not letting him beat them.
Motion from Gray. Hart to drop back. Looks left. Throws left, and it's on the floor again. As the Red Devils now have about 3-minute possession, not compared to the 4 of Elizabeth, but unlucky not to connect will bring up a 3rd and 12.
Yeah, it looks like they were trying to set up the screen there, but good job by this defensive line. Reading screen, not biting on the fake, and not chasing hard upfield as he's backpedaling, trying to get them to come with him. Able to stay home, get right on South. Hart just has to throw it at his feet, make sure the ball is out of harm's way, and keep this drive going.
And Hart will look over to his sideline. A bit of movement. May change things up. Communication as he drops back. And looks for Souse. Oh, it's Kuhn rather over the middle, and again, not accurate enough.
Yeah, ball just thrown a little bit too far out in front of Jared Kuhn on that play. Just trying to make a play. Looked like he was going to be coming open in about 2 or 3 yards. I think if Hart waits about a half second longer, he's open. He's wide open with that whole lane of running room. Just the safety to beat him one-on-one with a full head of steam coming at that safety.
And probably in field goal territory, but down the touchdown and extra point, we'll want to try to claw back. And it's a crucial play that looks like they're going to call a timeout, talk things over. Instead, they're staying out there. Bit of confusion from the Red Devils. Seems like they didn't start quite as sharp as the Minutemen, who seem to come out with a point to prove the Red Devils a bit dazed. You feel here, but still need to lock in this possession, in this play here. Try to level things up as they fix the clock, put back 4:56. And there's 4 to aim for RJ Hart. South back there as well. This is 4th and 12. Hart will drop back. He'll step to his right. He'll throw, and he's got Kuhn, who will go for the end zone and get to the 1-yard line. It looked like Hart was dead and buried there, but just as he was on the ropes, was able to find a good ball to Kuhn, and that sets up the Red Devils in a good spot here to level things up.
Yeah, great job by Kuhn there, just finding a dead spot in that zone, just making a play out of nothing. His original route was covered, but not giving up on the play, trying to find an open area for him, and Hart doing an excellent job getting out of the pocket, keeping the play alive, and finding his guy.
Seems like something he's good at. Kuhn, so he'll try to reach for it. Low, big pile, can't quite see. And looks like they're going to mark him short.
And I think if you're Hunterdon Central, you run that play 4 times until you get into the end zone. When you're this close, you're on the inch line, you're less than a yard away. You just move the ball up a little bit, but looks like they're going to their normal offense, backed out to the shotgun.
Yep, so both teams taking possessions now over 4 minutes. The Red Devils a bit longer, as Hart will go for it himself, and he will rush for a touchdown just like he did about a year ago against Elizabeth, and that will give the Red Devils 6 points and a chance to kick this extra point and level things up, Joe.
Yeah, that's just a great job being able to respond. They were kind of on the ropes there with a 4th and 12, but able to answer, able to get to that first down, put the ball in scoring position, and able to punch it in with a quarterback power there from that shotgun with South leading up. So they really like that quarterback power for this offense. That's been very effective for them to move the ball.
So we said it would be back and forth, and that one is blocked, and it has been back and forth. Whenever the Minutemen have scored, the Red Devils have responded, but have a blocked attempt there on the extra point, and so are down 13-14 with 3:48 to go in this third quarter here. It's going to be a great end to this quarter if the Red Devils get a quick stop, set them up for a good fourth quarter, but it was a good drive there from the Red Devils. Looked like they were really up against on that 4th and 12, but came up big.
Yeah, really nice job scoring on that drive. Able to answer the touchdown, but that will be a big thing for this with Hunterdon Central being down 1 now, missing that extra point. That is actually a huge play for this Elizabeth team, forcing Hunterdon Central to have to go for 2. If, say, Elizabeth goes down and scores, kicks the extra point, it becomes an 8-point game, forces Hunterdon Central to go for 2 just to tie the ball game.
Yep, could become crucial as Lopez will kick this one up. And it's fielded short as it will bounce, I believe. And it's taken well with a head of steam from Canty Jr. And that will get him close to 35. Flag, probably another personal foul. See what they say. And the referee's in conversation. And it was a holding, I believe. So we'll set them back. And the Red Devils been, I believe, no penalties from them in this half. It's been Elizabeth with 2. So the penalties evening out a little bit here. But the Red Devils had a lot in that first half for sure. Ransone definitely would been telling them that inside the locker room between the halves.
Yeah, definitely telling them they need to cut down on those mistakes. They can't have false starts and put themselves at a 1st and 15 or a 2nd and 15, anything like that. Moving the ball backwards is never what you want to do. And for Hunterdon Central, when Elizabeth makes a mistake like this and puts themselves deep in their own territory on their own 20-yard line, they need to capitalize on this as a defense. They cannot have another long, sustained drive like they gave up on the first drive of the second half.
Now let's see if they work that pump fake play action and run like they did it successfully. They've done that motion a lot, and they do it again. Fake the sweep that time, and we'll run it up the middle for a gain of 6. Looks like that was, I think, Canty on the run, or rather McDougald, I should say.
Yeah, and Elizabeth loves this with the wing and a tight end in the ball game for them, but looks like they're going to go to a 3 wide receiver set or 4 wide receiver set, so different formation than we saw in the first drive in the second half for this Elizabeth offense.
See if they work that motion again. Instead, it will be a first pass attempt of this half, and it looks like It's incomplete. He was away there. It looked like a bit of a no-look sidearm there from Fleming almost there as he looked out wide and cut it back up the field. But so many running options for this Elizabeth team. But they forget they have talented wide receivers score as well. But it's just been a bit overthrown here tonight from Fleming. That time was his first attempt. And no surprise, Joe, he went long.
Yeah, I mean, Fleming's been proving that he has a good arm. He's been trying to show off the arm, trying to connect on those long balls. It looks like he's trying to anticipate the throws, trying to get it out before the wide receiver is fully in his route. I think on that play, he just needed to wait a half second longer because it looked like the receiver was behind the corner.
And he'll drop back again to try to get the 4 yards necessary. Lobs that one up. And they want the pass interference. Red Devils got one PI call in the first half. Doesn't look like they're going to get that. And now we'll bring up a 4th down and 4 for the Minutemen, who this possession haven't even ticked off a minute off the clock, and they'll bring out the punt unit. Red Devils will be well accustomed to that fake punt from last week, and they'll have to protect against it again with only 4 yards to go.
Yep, 100% that Hunterdon Central was practicing defending the fake punt after giving up the fake punt. That was something they must have worked on Monday after running sprints, which is something you do every Monday, is running sprints after you play on a Friday. But they definitely worked on that all week, trying to make sure that they do not give up any fake punts.
And this one will be conventional, as it's towards Kuhn, who will field a rather low punt, or Gray, I should say, right in between the 40 and 45. So 2:45 for the Red Devils to go. Have more than half the field to travel, but good position here, and a chance for them to get back that 1 point missed and try to set themselves up for a good finish in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, the defense did their job. They stopped this Minutemen offense. Unable to do that in the first drive, but able to settle down, stop the run, not give up any big plays, force a 3 and out, get the ball back into your offense's hand. The offense has to be feeling some confidence, even though they kind of got pushed back up against the wall on that 4th and long. They converted. The confidence is going to be feeling high for this offense, so I think they're going to try and capitalize on the confidence that the offense is feeling right now.
So Heidi back out there with the line. Fisher out there to get on the ball and ready to snap this ball for Hart, who's in shotgun. Motion again from Amato, switches sides. Lays a good block down for Souse, who finally can stretch his legs and get close to midfield there. Good run and good blocks from the Red Devils.
Yeah, really nice job getting that initial push from the offensive line, the left-hand side of the O-line, getting a nice push up front, and then Souse just doing a really nice job realizing that cutback lane is open, so he's able to just, instead of trying to fight through traffic, cuts it back, gets a nice gain of 7 yards.
We'll bring up a 2nd and 3 for the Red Devils. And they'll do it again, this time with Artiega, who gets a similar gain. So both of them getting going here. Love to see that for Red Devils fans as they move the chains here close to the 45, right above it actually. And Hart back there again. Amato in motion. Whistles blow. Appears to be a flag on the Minutemen. Burrito hit the floor, not happy at all.
Yeah, it looked like Elizabeth calls the timeout as Hunterdon Central is trying to go fast-paced, trying to establish that they want to play fast, they want to get this game moving. And when you play fast, that hurts the defense. They can't get substitutions in, they can't get fresh legs in, that's especially key on the defensive line. When you're tired out there, it is very hard to get a good pass rush if you don't feel like you can catch your breath in between every play. If you're gassed and they're running a hurry up, it feels like you've just been, I don't even know. It's just the worst feeling in the world when you can't get off the field and get a breather. That is horrible, and that's a very smart play from this Elizabeth staff, calling the timeout, getting their guys a breather, getting them set. And I'm looking for Hunterdon Central. They're going to keep pushing the pace. They're going to try and make this game go fast, keep this defense on the field, try and get the ball down the field. So that was a really nice job by Hart, just getting the ball, everybody up to the line of scrimmage, getting set, and trying to get that snap off.
I feel like they're about to jam the ball again right down the throat of Elizabeth's defensive line there, but a crucial timeout by Coach Fiore to stop things and get his men racked and ready to go as the Red Devils go with the a similar setup. Arteaga back there, Mongo, Gray, and Kuhn as well. 1:58 to play in this quarter. It looks like there'll be a blitz from Elizabeth as Hart will sidestep one and then have to just dive and fall forward as Burrito will lose his helmet and will have to sit out of play. Burrito seems to be getting involved with those Minutemen defensive line as Jacob Piepong will come in to fill his spot.
Yeah, it looks like it was a bit of a miscommunication between Arteaga and Hart. Looks like Hart thought Arteaga was running the counter, coming back across his body to get the ball. Arteaga thought they called the QB power, so a miscommunication. Hart, good job just getting back up to the line of scrimmage and falling down.
And no loss on the play, so Hart will pitch this one to Arteaga, who didn't have much to work with. Oh, but loses the ball, and it's recovered by the Minutemen. Oh, Arteaga did all the hard work, but a little lapse there, and a fumble, and a turnover as the Minutemen will get it, or see what they say. Was he down, Joe?
I thought he was down, and it seemed like it was it looks like it's a personal foul against Elizabeth.
So a huge break for the Red Devils. Arteaga certainly put his hands up to his helmet, thought he maybe just made a crucial error, but referee saved him there, and it was a good gain. Got the first down, and they're going to get a little bit more here. So another personal foul from this Minutemen team, really just giving the Red Devils these 3 yards and how close to red zone territory now.
Yeah, the Minutemen are really helping this Hunterdon Central offense. It did look like the Arteaga, as he went down, that's what caused the fumble, and the ground can't cause a fumble. So good job by these refs making the correct call, realizing he was down, but then the Minutemen just making a silly mistake, giving a free 15 yards to this Hunterdon Central offense.
So Hart with Arteaga still in the game as Amato will move all the way out wide. Flags thrown as Hart hits the ground.
And it looks like that is going to be an illegal formation penalty on Hunterdon Central. It looked like Amato started to go upfield. He was trying to time the snap. Looked like they were going to try and take a deep shot, but it's going to be a illegal formation. But with the sack, they're going to decline it, force it to a 2nd and long for Hunterdon Central.
Less than a minute to go now in the third quarter. We'll bring up a 2nd and 16, it looks like. So right back to almost where they were before the penalty, as the clock starts ticking away again. Unless Amato is running forward there. Cannot be done. Kuhn alone on that right side. Often is alone there. And that's where he does some of his best work. His Hart shotgun with Arteaga next to him. Amato in motion. Give it to him. Or Arteaga, I should say. And he was able to fall a bit forward and trim some of that yardage. It was a 2nd and 17. Will be probably a 3rd and 14 now. Under 30 seconds to play.
Yeah, it looked like he was going for that cutback lane, and it looked open. Just had to try and get past that one defender, but he went low, tried to get over him, clipped his foot, forced him to the ground. So good job by this Elizabeth defense. But Hunterdon Central, look for them to air the ball out. I think they need to try and get at least close to the sticks, make it 4th and very manageable for themselves.
And they will let it tick into the 4th quarter, and we'll be set up for a grandstand finish here. 13-14. The Minutemen lead the Red Devils with the ball and a chance to take the lead to start the 4th quarter. But like you said, Joe, that extra point could come back to cost the Red Devils. They certainly hope not, but they need to capitalize here if that's not to happen.
Yep, they were gifted some yardage, but just a miscommunication and the penalty, and a nice play by this Elizabeth defense, blitzing at the correct time, able to sack Hart and force the 2nd and long rather than a 1st and 15, which usually would have been the penalty on one of those illegal formation plays. But nice job by this Elizabeth defense forcing the 2nd and long. And then Hunterdon Central, they just really need to they need to find something that has been very effective besides R.J. Hart running the ball up the middle and scrambling for yards. So far, the offense has looked a little bit stagnant, And I think they can get it going. They've showed flashes. Artiega's shown flashes of how explosive he can be shooting through a hole. Souse has had some couple nice runs, especially that his touchdown in this game was awesome. The screenplay, really nice job by him.
Yep.
They need
Catch
to
from Kuhn and Amato as well.
Yeah, I think they just need to get the ball to their playmakers and let their playmakers make plays. I think that's the strength of this team for Hunterdon Central is they have a lot of guys that can do great things once they get the ball in their hands. They just need to get established so far.
Yep, and right around that 30-yard line, 3rd and 17 for the Red Devils. As Gray will be the one to move this time. And Hart will drop back. Will run, will get back to the original chain marker, and will fall right around the 20 as appears a injury on the field to the Minutemen. So bring up a decision for Coach Ransone to make here. Does he try to kick the field goal and take the lead or go for a bit more? They've been successful on 4th down conversions today. See what he's going to do as the Minutemen will send out their trainers to check on this injured player and hope to get him okay. There's appears some cramping on the far side and someone down in the middle.
Yep, cramping always poses a problem in games like this when it's hot, it's humid, you're sweating a lot, and it's hard to force yourself to drink enough water so you don't end up cramping. It's very tough to do while you're in the middle of a game. You're not really focused about it. So for Hunterdon Central, they just need offensively, like that was a really nice play by Hart. We're feeling the pressure from the outside. They brought 2 outside linebacker blitzes, feeling the pressure, getting up, and they made it a very 4th and manageable, about 4th and 6. So for Hunterdon Central, I think they're going to go for it. They're going to keep the offense on the field. They've established that they can make these plays on 4th down. So I think for Hunterdon Central, need to get the first down here. Don't have to score a touchdown here. You just need 6 yards. You do not need to score on this play. So I think for Hunterdon Central, they need to get this first down. They can't give this ball back to Elizabeth, who's done a very nice job this half, or especially on that first drive, milking the clock, taking as much time as they need, draining that play clock down as close to 5 seconds, and then getting the snap off. So for Hunterdon Central, need to get points, cannot let the Minutemen run this clock out.
Yeah, and you think even if they drop back to throw, Joe, it's a case that R.J. Hart, if it breaks down, does have the ability to run for it. Kuhn does have that ability to change up his route and find space and make things happen with the ball at the 20-yard line. Need to get to the 14.
And it looks like they're sending out the kicker.
And instead they're going to kick it, and I believe that's Lopez out there. So from here it's about a 30-yarder, Joe. And a big spot for Alan Lopez here. I believe his first field goal attempt as it's up, and that one's blocked as well.
And that ball is live. They need to tackle him.
And they get the tackle as he's pinned near the 4-yard line. And very, very unlucky there for the Red Devils with the block yet again. 2 in a row, but felt like they could have got to 6 yards, Joe.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough decision when you're caught in that tough area of no man's land where your kicker can reach, and that was a bit of a far kick, about a 35-yarder. But the kicker can reach, but unfortunately the blocking broke down in front, and Elizabeth was able to create penetration, block that field goal, and honestly, kind of a scary play for the Minutemen trying to get that first or pick that ball up and return it, because that is a live ball. Once they touch that ball, if they fumbled it, that would have been Hunterdon Central ball. So that's a play that you sometimes don't want to see, especially when the ball is that close to the end zone. You never want to make a mistake like fumbling the ball near your end zone.
And I suppose the only good thing is for the Red Devils that they miss it, but it's not a crucial part of the game where they still have loads of time left in this quarter, chances to recover, and it looks like they've done so well here. A good response there as they stuff the ball right at the line of scrimmage. We'll bring up a 2nd and 10, and Elizabeth need to get the ball out of this position inside their own 5.
Yeah, I think for Hunterdon Central, this is where you need to tee off on the running game. You cannot let them get out of this and get a first down, because it is the hardest thing, or one of the hardest things in football, to make your punter punt when he's standing on the edge of the of out of bounds, which would give Hunterdon Central a safety if he did end up stepping out.
And they'll run it again towards that right side. And again, good read from the defense. Lucas Espinant there, Chella as well, getting involved, and that will bring up a 3rd and long.
Yep, so for Hunterdon Central, nice job on 1st and 2nd down, stopping the run, not giving up a big play here. And I think Elizabeth's going to air the ball out. They like the throwing. They like the ability of their quarterback getting the ball out in space.
That's a crucial play here. As they work the play action, Fleming will try to run. He'll throw it, jumping again. Oh, and it's jumped. Oh, and it's dropped. Is that Francois again? I believe it's Artiega who had that right in the breadbasket, Joe.
Yeah, it looked like he had the pick wrapped up right in his hands, but I think he took his eye off the ball, started to get upfield without fully securing the ball, drops it. But for Hunterdon Central, that is a great job defensively and almost capitalized on another mistake from Fleming, trying to do a little bit too much, trying to get the ball out in space, even when he's getting hit. That's something Hunterdon Central needs to capitalize on, but still forces the 3 and out, forces this Minutemen offense to have to punt, and this will set up Hunterdon Central with good field position inside the 50.
Up unless they throw a wrench into the system, but looks like Lazo will be punting from his end zone, not where he wants to be. He's got to get a good one off as he won't be allowed to.
It looks like it's going to be a false start, so this is going to make it even tougher for this Minutemen special teams unit to try and get this punt off. He is going to be pinned right against the back line of that end zone.
Not where he wants to be. The worst possible scenario for him here. Be 4th and 10. Probably maybe even longer than that. And Lazo will air this one out towards Gray, who chooses to let it drop, and it takes a really good bounce at the 50. So great work by Lazo there. And it will be almost about 70 to 80 seconds between the blocked field goal attempt and when the Red Devils touch the ball for the first time with Quinn Fisher.
Yeah, honestly, that possession for Hunterdon Central, even though they didn't get it on, or they didn't make the field goal try, it's almost as good as a punt, pinning them down in, forcing a 3 and out, and now Hunterdon Central gets the ball back at the 50-yard line, very manageable distance. Sometimes football in the second half becomes a field position game. If you can't pin them deep and you can't get a good punt off, like that was a very nice punt from Laszlo, but he would have liked more roll from that, trying to get that ball on the Hunterdon Central side. So Hunterdon Central starts off with great field position once again.
Hey, Laszlo did well to get as far as he did. The Red Devils just on the wrong side of the 50, barely, as Fisher will put his hand on the ball and snap this one to Hart as Amato gets in motion. And it's Artiega to take it. Seen a bit more of him than Souse in this 3rd or 4th quarter, I should say, and he gets the Red Devils past the 50-yard line.
Yeah, nice job from that front 7 for this Elizabeth defense. They have done a very nice job bottling up these 2 running backs. And Hunterdon Central, I think they need to start airing the ball out a little bit more. I think you got to put some trust into your senior quarterback. This is his 2nd year starting. He knows how to play this offense. He knows the offense. He knows everything to do. I think you need to trust your quarterback here.
Yep, he's capable of doing it as well, as he will step up and just throw that one away. There's not much he could have done there as he hits the deck and gets helped up by Brito and Artiega. And not the most productive first 2 plays, and will bring up a 3rd and 9.
Yeah, once again, Hunterdon Central almost runs into each other with the double drags with Amato and Gray both coming across the middle. They almost run into each other again, force each other out of their route, and that eliminates probably Hart's 1 and number 2 options. You love those little drag routes underneath the linebackers, getting your athletes in space, but they have been just having a little bit too many miscommunications on that in that department with those little mesh point routes.
So that 3rd quarter, which was a very quick quarter, this one, very stop and start, large period of time elapsed, but only about 3 minutes off the clock, not even, as Hart will get things going. And as I say, that whistles blow yet again. Ransone very pissed off as he calls a timeout.
Yeah, it looks like he was not happy. It looked like there was some confusion between the wide receivers. They didn't know what formation. Started out with the two on the left, one on the far side by himself, and then they came over to the trips formation. Didn't look like they were fully comfortable in the formation that they were going to be running. So for Hunterdon Central, probably smart taking that time out there and just getting the offense settled down, making sure they have the correct play call. Everybody knows their job and everybody knows what they're doing.
Yep, and again, they're in that position of midfield where could try to punt and pin them back, like you said, but probably will end up going for it on fourth. So maybe in the position where they don't need the 9 yards, but would like to just get it and get it over with if they could here.
Yeah, I think it definitely depends on how they do on this play. If they don't gain any yards, I think they punt it. But if they make it a fourth and less than 4, I think they're going to go for it.
And South back into the game. Gray is the lone receiver on the far side as Kuhn now will switch over. And Hart will air one out and does not gain any yardage. So let's see what they do with McNally. And looks like they're going to bring on the special teams unit.
Yep, so looking to pin them deep here and try and have a repeat of this last drive. Pin them deep and force another 3 and out and get another good field position drive. Ball looked like it was a little bit too high for Amato to come down with it. Nice play design. Looked like he was open. Would have made it a fourth and manageable or would have gotten the first down on that play. But unfortunately, the throw a little bit too high, so unable to capitalize on that opportunity. And it looks like Elizabeth is taking a timeout. And I think that will be their last timeout of the half.
Interesting. 9:22 to go.
Yeah, so that could become a big thing for this if Hunterdon Central is able to take the lead and they are unable to stop the clock. But it is high school football. It is like the old rules of college football where after every first down, the clock will stop until the chains are back set again. So that's what that's what both teams are going to be looking to do once they are fully out of timeouts. They need a first downs. They're going to need the clock to stop and try and get their offense on the ball as quick as possible.
Yeah, speaking of big things, forget that Central missed the extra point. They were down 1. Elizabeth can get this ball and really control the pace, leading the game, albeit a slim margin. And the Red Devils not yet in that time where they need to rush and hurry. 9:22 to go, but we've seen Elizabeth take their time on these possessions, and they can't afford to let 5-6 minutes tick away here and have the Minutemen score.
Yep, 100%. They cannot allow a very long drive from this Minutemen offense. They have to try and make a stop. They have to try and get the ball back into this offense. There is a lot of time left in this clock, but the way this offense moves when they're running the ball effectively is they will take as much time as they can off of the clock.
So McNally takes the high snap and will look to pin the Minutemen in deep as it's a catch.
And it looks like it's a
Fumble. And is it recovered by the Red Devils? They say yes. The sideline goes crazy, and the Minutemen sideline is not too happy there.
Yeah, it was just an unbelievable play by Decker McNally. Great punt from him. Looked like he put a little backspin, trying to pin them in deep, but is able to force the fumble with the backspin.
Wow.
Bounces off the receiver's chest. This is a massive moment for this Hunterdon Central offense.
Huge break as just the Artiega fumbled the ball, and McNally put the spin on the ball, made it difficult to field, and that will give the Red Devils an amazing opportunity. Like you said, these fourth quarters about field position, you can't ask for much better than this.
Yep, inside the red zone, inside of Elizabeth's 15-yard line. This is massive for this Hunterdon Central offense.
Amato, a little bit of motion as they give it to Souse. So try to power his way in. So not bad for a first play for the Red Devils as they get close to the 10 now.
Yeah, really nice job by Souse, just sticking his nose in there, getting his legs turning, and letting the offensive lineman push him forward. That is something that maybe 20 years in football, that was banned. You were not allowed to touch the ball carrier and push him, but now it is allowed. So when your running back gets tied up like that and he's still churning his legs, the offensive lineman will get behind him and try and keep him moving forward.
2nd and 6. Amato again, looking like he's going to try to push a man forward, and he does that, but it's for Hart this time, who not as effectively runs as South on that previous play, but will pick up a gain of about 2, so we'll bring up a 3rd and short.
Yeah, short and very manageable for this offense, and this is 4-down territory. You need to punch this ball in and get a touchdown here. You don't want to end this drive with
cannot
3.
lose this opportunity, this great opportunity, this great field position. Anything less than 6 points would be a big blow here for the Red Devils.
Exactly.
So it's 3rd and 5 rather. Hart in the shotgun as Gray will move. It's Kuhn alone on this side. Wouldn't mind seeing a attempt to Kuhn on this right side as he's alone, but instead it's a timeout for the Red Devils. Tells you the magnitude of this play here, as Ransom wants to make sure everything is set in place.
Yeah, he wants to make sure he has the perfect play call, and I think that's a little bit of a mind games there from from Coach Ransone, calling the timeout, seeing what formation and how they adjusted to the motion with Gray going over to that far side from us. With him going over, he wanted to see how the linebackers were going to adjust to that play, how the safety would move, if they were going to bring over the safety to cover him man, or if they were going to let the corner come with him. He saw the corner came, so that's showing man defense from this defense. So for Hunterdon Central, I think you do have the potential of a one-on-one with Jared Kuhn and their cornerback, which Jared Kuhn's a great wide receiver one-on-one, able to get up there and make some very nice catches for this Hunterdon Central offense. So if they're showing man-to-man again, I wouldn't be shocked if Hunterdon Central tried to get the ball to Jared Kuhn.
Yep, or could maybe keep it on the ground. South Hart could do it with his feet from here. Only 5 to go for the first down. Another 2 or 3 to the end zone. So if the coverage is good, give him that ability to run, but different, not in the open field, not as much space here for that running opportunity, as it's 3 on this far side. Kuhn the furthest, or on the near side rather, as Hart rolls out right and does throw it, and it's completed by, I think it's Kuhn, but it doesn't matter. It's a touchdown, and it's Gray rather, who gets the Red Devils another 6. Didn't quite think he got that in, but they say he broke the plane.
Yeah, just a really nice play design. Bit of a pick play, but good job by those receivers.
Haven't changed the score yet.
Looks like it is a touchdown, and it looks like Hunterdon Central is going to be going for 2 on this play.
Yep, so is ruled as a touchdown, as the Red Devils look to gain back the point they lost from the extra point. With Hart out there trying to punch into, saw the crucial 2-point conversion stop last week, as Hart will just try to run for it, and he will do so very successfully. So the Red Devils will get 21 on the board now and take the lead of 7 against the Minutemen after the crucial mistake for the Minutemen to give the Red Devils just a gift there and give them the lead. And not only that, 2 minutes about off the clock, 7:34 will be the time for Arik Fleming and this Minutemen offense to try to respond.
Yeah, Hunterdon Central just capitalizing on that gift of field position. Really nice play design, having 2 receivers go inside. Bit of a pick play, but if the refs don't call it and there's no visible actual contact, like he's trying to get out and block you, really nice play, delivering the ball to Gray, able to get in, reach for that pylon, score the touchdown, and that's big, getting that 2-point conversion, because that makes that a 7-point game. And that is huge, because you never want it to be a 6-point game where it's a touchdown and a field goal or an extra point takes the lead back for this Elizabeth team. So great job by Hunterdon Central capitalizing on the gift of field position starting at Elizabeth's 16-yard line.
Up 7:34 as the Red Devils, you think a stop here would be something that could really give them complete control of this game. But at the very least, got to try to keep the Minutemen out here as they field it inside the 20 and run on the right side. And we'll get past the 30. So good field position. 7:25 for Fleming and the Minutemen to try to get back level here. We've seen it's been back and forth, but the Red Devils were a bit stronger and got the 2 scores unanswered and now take the lead.
Yeah, really nice job answering that first score and then coming back on the second one after Elizabeth does a nice job forcing a 3-and-out, and you have to punt. You're given a gift. You're able to capitalize and score to retake the lead for this offense, or take the lead for the first time actually in this game. for Hunterdon Central. And now for this defense, they're looking for more of the same. Another 3 and out, another stop.
And it looks like another penalty as they move that one back from the 30 into the 16, Joe.
Yeah, so it looked like it was another 15-yard penalty against the Minutemen.
And Coach Fury has to be very, very upset with the amount of penalties his team was getting. We thought the Red Devils were bad. The Minutemen have not been good in the second half as Fleming will look to keep it, and it was Red brilliant. And look how many of them get over the whole defensive lineup on Fleming.
Yeah, really nice job by this defensive line not biting, and the linebackers not biting on that run fake, going with the running back, realizing Fleming has the ball and is able to just rally around him, make the tackle after a short gain of 3 yards.
So under 7 now, left in the game, left in the half, left in the quarter. As Fleming will take it, and not before he gets the motion from Canty, and will give it to him. He's at a quiet second half, Canty Jr., but we'll get a decent gain there and make it a 3rd and short situation here for these Minutemen, and they got a probably 4th down territory here, you think.
Nah, I think
down on the game, maybe punted.
Yeah, I think there might be too much time. I know the offense for Hunterdon Central has been playing really well, but I think at this point, if they don't gain any more yards, I don't think it's worth it for them. Too much time on the clock.
Would be interesting to see if they get close, what Coach Fury would want to do, but would like to just get it here, not have to make the decision. So he ran it to Canty. It's a scenario of a 3rd and 5 for the Minutemen. Tough situation for them to be in, down a score. Will Fleming try to run for it? He will, and he'll get the 1st down for the Minutemen, so don't have to make that decision on that 4th down scenario. Instead, we'll move the chains and, like you said, stop the clock in the 4th quarter.
Yep, and good job by the DBs, the secondary for Hunterdon Central, covering everybody up, not giving Fleming a chance to get that ball out of his hands. But unfortunately, the pass rush is unable to get home and bring him down in the backfield or before the 1st down, so it keeps this drive moving for the Minutemen offense.
So seconds tick away as we inch to 5:40, and they run it with Lyles, who was stopped rather short. And Lyles had 2 touchdowns last game, only 11 attempts for 37 yards, but 2 touchdowns in the loss to Plainfield last week, 33-26, but it's been quiet today ever since that first really explosive run to get the 1st touchdown of the game. And now it's a 2nd and 6. And they'll give it again, and Souse is there to make the stop.
Yeah, I think Elizabeth is going to stick to their guns, keep running the ball. There's a lot of time on this clock as we tick inside of 5 minutes. They do not have to go away from running the ball right now. There's so much time left in this game that they don't have to try and rush and push the ball downfield and try and make too much happen. They can stick with their offense, and Hunterdon Central, I think, is going to realize that. And that is 100% a false start. So it looks like a big miscommunication between the wide receivers and the offensive line and quarterback.
Yeah, it looks like Canty just ran completely past the ball there. And an easy one for the officials. 5 yards back will bring in a 3rd and 7. So another gift. And it just seems the Minutemen, Joe, they've started super switched on, energetic and lively, but just have tailed off here. Lack the endurance that the Red Devils have, and it's proving to cost them. As Fleming will drop back. Will he air one out? He will. Towards that right side. Oh, it's picked off. And it will go down that left side. And the tackle will be made inside the 20 of the Minutemen. And I think it's Francois who was able to intervene there. Can't quite see the number, but regardless, a great play. And again, Fleming just maybe underthrew it really badly there, Joe.
Yeah, it looked like the pressure was starting to get to him, and it looked like he kind of underthrew that ball, and it was a really nice job finally capitalizing. It's the 3rd one that's hit a member of the Hunterdon Central secondary's hands, and finally they come down with one and capitalize on a mistake. Great return, sets him up on Elizabeth's 18 or 19-yard line. So once again, good field position. This is where Hunterdon Central needs to score. They need to put the pressure on this defense and force the offense to have to throw the ball. Because if you're down 2 scores, you can't be running your regular offense trying to pound the rock. You're going to have to throw the ball a little bit. And so for Hunterdon Central, looking to at least put points up on the board on this drive.
And again, it's a day where the offense maybe not firing on all cylinders for the Red Devils, with the defense and the special teams giving them gifts here, possession inside the 20 twice back to back. And you feel, Joe, anything anything less than a touchdown here would be a disappointment, as it's pitched out wide to South. Can he get his feet moving? Breaks a couple inside the 10. The Minutemen coaching staff seem to be yelling for something.
Yeah,
But a good gain from South.
looks like they're trying to get the refs to give him a call, but good blocking on the outsides from the receivers. And
I think they get that call.
yeah, they are getting a call. So looks like, let's see what this penalty call is.
Looks like it's about 10 yards back for the Red Devils, so a blow for them for sure. And that changes things completely here.
Yeah, and that was an unbelievable run by South. Good blocking on the outside, but able to just break a couple tackles and gain some positive yards, and it looked like they would have had the first down.
So a cutout of the cameras here, but the Red Devils with the lead, 21-14. They won the game, and they improved to 3-0 for the first time in I don't know how long, Joe, but we said it was going to be a back-and-forth game. And for the Red Devils, luckily it was more back than forth for them, as they had 2 scores unanswered, and it turned out to be crucial for them.
Yeah, great job by Hunterdon Central in this second half. Offensively, looked a little slow to start, but were able to pick it up, get some key first downs, put the ball in the end zone twice, and defensively, they really played out. After that first drive of the second half, Elizabeth moved the ball, and it didn't really look like Hunterdon Central could do anything to stop them, but they made the adjustments. Coach Bill did a great job making adjustments with this Hunterdon Central defense, and they were able to get the stops that they needed, force punts, force turnovers. They just did everything right that they could have to get this W.
Yep, and it was a schedule where you saw the 3 opening games, said, you know what, we can win 3 in a row, and on a day today when it wasn't their best day, they still get it done. A sign of great teams, a great performance from them, and a pleasure to be a part of this broadcast tonight. Thank you for everyone for tuning in to us, and I hope you tune in again. Thank you, Joe. Thank you to everyone that made this possible, and we'll see you guys next time. Have an amazing night.